Yo, what's going on out there? It's Larry coming to you again with another Blazing Sports Report. As we all know, divisional playoffs have ended in the NFL and we've moved on to the conference championships. And you know, in the AFC, we're going to have the Ravens taking on the Patriots. In the NFC, we're going to have the Giants taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Now, in my divisional playoff predictions, I told y'all that New Orleans, in order for them to beat the Niners, they had to make the Niners play catch up to them. That didn't happen. That's why they're out. And then that was a great finish to a great game. Then on top of that, we seen New England just straight dominate Denver as we all expected them to do. Then we also had the Giants come in, and it didn't surprise me because, like I said, the Packers defense has been just so disgustingly awful all season long that it was bound to catch up to him. And what better time for it to catch up to him and besides the point when it mattered the most, which is in the playoffs. I'm glad that they're out because, to me, like I said, all season they've been overrated. Aaron Rodgers, he's the main reason. That offense is what kept them winning games. But when you look at, like they say, defense wins championships, they just didn't have one. And then talked about the Niners and the Ravens. The Ravens, they had iffy offensive game. Joe Flacco, he's been iffy all season long, but we all know that in order for them to win, they got to run the ball with Ray Rice. Now, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the AFC first. The matchup between Ravens and the Patriots is it's an intriguing matchup for this simple reason right here. New England is offense heavy. Baltimore relies more on their defense. When you look at the pass rush and just the linebacker, I mean, from top to bottom, that Ravens defense, granted they've given up a lot of yards in secondary. Secondary hasn't been as strong as it has been in recent years. But that front seven that Baltimore has is just completely awesome. It can dominate, especially once they pressure the quarterback. The thing that has been inconsistent with Baltimore is their offensive game. Joe Flacco, like I said, has been inconsistent. And we all know when Ray Rice doesn't get his touches, then there's problems to be had. Now, I look for the Ravens to pound the ball down the Patriots' throats early and often in order to dominate this game. Because we all know unless they run that ball effectively, especially against defense as suspect as the Patriots defense, then they're going to struggle. I mean, they can't get into a passing attack. They can't get into a scoring matchup with the Patriots because they'll lose. If there's one thing you do know, when Tom Brady and Bill Belichick get together in these AFC Championship games, they just don't lose. I think together they're 3-0 in conference championships games, or 4-1, or one of those two. I can't remember, but I think it's 4-1 if I'm not mistaken. The numbers escape me right now. But Belichick and Brady, when they're together, we all know that when it matters most, they come through. Now, in order for them to win this matchup, they're going to have to find a way to force Baltimore to beat them through the air. They're going to have to negate the run game of Ray Rice and what the Baltimore offense does bring. Now, I do think that Baltimore should have the advantage in this game on the ground when it comes to attacking. We all know the defense is outstanding. The defense has always been outstanding. If they can, it all comes back to pressuring the quarterback. And Tom Brady, we all know he doesn't buckle under pressure. It's hard to get to him. He doesn't sense pressure. The man is cold-blooded. He can, and most of the things that people don't realize, the passing attack of the New England Patriots is short, quick, and it's little 5-out, 5-in routes, little quick comeback routes. He dumps the ball off quick release. He gets the ball where it needs to go, and then the receivers take over. Now, we did see a surprise with them running the ball with Aaron Hernandez out the backfield, which caught a lot of people by surprise, especially me. But I think they will probably implement that again because the run game that the Patriots has is inconsistent. They have smaller runners out there. And when you bring a big tight end out the backfield, hand him off the ball and let him go right up the middle with it, it's going to be a very intriguing matchup. Now, in my prediction for this, it's going to be tough to say. It depends on who shows up on which side of the ball. I think that if New England can come out here and if they can somehow stop Ray Rice from getting big yards, because we all know what happens when Ray Rice runs the ball. He gets 20-plus carries. The Ravens, they normally win those games. The game is in Baltimore. The home crowd should be raucous. It should be rowdy. It should be crazy. But for some reason, like a lot of people want to see, including myself, and the way that they dominated Denver, I'm going to go ahead and give this one to the Patriots. I think that this team will come through in the end. Tom Brady will have another outstanding performance. The weapons that he has around him will step up, be consistent. I think this defense, especially that front line, has finally figured out a way to pressure the inside, especially when you looked at how they negated the run attack for Denver in this past game, who was number one rushing offense in the NFL. They figured out how to close those lanes, close those gaps. And you know Belichick will go in, he'll watch tape, he'll see what he needs to do, and he'll figure out what he needs to do for this team in order to get the win. And I think the Patriots will come out on top. Now we go over to the NFC side of things. And then we have the 49ers taking on the New York Football Giants. Now the G-Men, they came out, they did what I said they were going to do. They're going to beat the Packers. I'm proud that they did it. Now we don't have to hear about Aaron Rodgers anymore. Granted, he had a great year and everything, but like I said, the Packers were overrated. They've always been overrated this season. Like I said, you can score many points, but if you can't stop nobody, you're not going to win many games, especially games that matter. Now with the Giants, the defense has stepped up. That front line has always been outstanding, and this year has been no different. Granted, they've had a couple of injuries, but those injuries, they've overcome it. They're healthy right now. Justin Tuck, Manure, Pierre Paul, all those guys, the sets that they run are just so meticulously designed that you got to give the Giants the edge, especially when it comes to how they disguise their packages and their blitz packages, how they're going to come at the quarterback. Now, Alex Smith showed us something against the New Orleans Saints. He showed that when it comes down to crunch time, that he can actually produce for this team. And that's exactly what they did. We know that the fireworks at the end of the game were probably the best that we'll see all postseason long. Vernon Davis, the big target, the man was on point, on target. Him and Alex Smith had this thing clicking all game long. Their defense is outstanding, but they did give up 32 points to the New Orleans Saints. Granted, the Saints is a more high-powered offense than what the Giants have. That doesn't mean that they can't put up those same amount of points. Got a two-headed rushing attack in Bradshaw and Jacobs coming out the backfield. Jacobs, as we all know, he could easily be a linebacker with that body that he has. And then you got Nix, Manningham, and Cruz. Granted, Cruz was a little banged up in the last game, but I don't think that would keep him out of playing in this game, especially considering it's the NFC Championship trip to the Super Bowl. But when you look at it, the game is in San Francisco. That crowd was amazing. They're happy to have relevant football in their town. I think that's going to play a big part in this game, and I'm going to predict that the San Francisco 49ers, they go on to the Super Bowl and compete against the New England Patriots. I think that what Harbaugh has done with this team to turn them around like this, to instill that confidence in Alex Smith and the rest of that team. Granted, it did start with Singletary. Singletary inspired them early on, but once he got going, they bring in Harbaugh. Harbaugh just continued with where it is going. They feed into the system. They buy into it. They respect him. And I think the job that he's done has been miraculous. I'm going to go ahead and say the San Francisco 49ers will meet the New England Patriots in Indianapolis for this Super Bowl matchup. It's been a Blazing Sports Report. I'd like to get y'all predictions, hear what y'all got to say. That has been my take. Let me hear what y'all got to say. Blazing Sports Report, I'm Larry Jenkins. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.